Imagine a world where beer, not bread, was the spark that ignited civilization. Yes, the drink you think of as a weekend indulgence might just be the reason we abandoned the hunter-gatherer lifestyle and settled down to build the world as we know it. Sound far-fetched? Think again. Ancient brewing might have been the original innovation that led us to agriculture, cities, and even written language. And the evidence? It's buried in the grains of history. When you think of the beginnings of human civilization, what comes to mind? Stone tools, fire, maybe the invention of the wheel? But what if I told you that one of the most pivotal turning points in human history wasn't about survival essentials? It was about beer. Yes, beer. A drink so ancient and culturally embedded that it predates the pyramids, and might have been the reason early humans started planting crops. This isn't just speculation. Archaeologists have uncovered chemical traces of beer in pottery dating back 7,000 years. Some researchers even suggest that brewing beer may have come before baking bread. And if beer came first, it changes everything we think we know about the motivations behind agriculture and civilization. Stick with me, and we'll unravel how beer may have fueled innovation, connected communities, and shaped the course of human history. For years, historians believed agriculture was born out of necessity. The story goes like this. Ancient humans discovered that farming grains provided a reliable food source compared to hunting and gathering. But there's a problem with this theory. It doesn't fully explain why humans, who had thrived for thousands of years as nomads, suddenly decided to settle down. Farming was hard, unpredictable, and time-consuming. So why go through the hassle? Some anthropologists believe the answer lies in fermentation. Grains weren't just a source of food, they were a source of drink, specifically beer. The question is, how did a simple fermented beverage become a catalyst for permanent human settlement? Let's go back to the Fertile Crescent around 10,000 years ago. This lush area, spanning parts of modern-day Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, was home to wild grains like barley and wheat. Early humans began experimenting with these grains, not necessarily to make bread, but to create a fermented liquid. Why? Because beer wasn't just a drink. It was a safer alternative to often contaminated water. It was a source of calories, a social glue, and perhaps even a spiritual elixir. Picture this. A group of ancient humans gathers wild grains, stores them in a vessel, and leaves it outside. Rain falls, soaking the grains, and natural yeasts in the environment begin fermentation. Days later, someone drinks the liquid and feels a slight buzz. That moment could have been the birth of beer, and it likely didn't take long for our ancestors to replicate it. In ancient societies, communal beer brewing and consumption were central to social rituals. Sharing beer wasn't just about drinking, it was about bonding, celebrating, and even negotiating. Researchers have found evidence of ancient feasts where beer played a central role, suggesting that brewing might have been as much about community as sustenance. One of the most fascinating debates among historians is whether humans cultivated grains primarily for beer or bread. While bread provided sustenance, beer offered something else entirely, a sense of community, relaxation, and even a connection to the divine. Ancient Sumerian texts like the hymn to Ninkasi celebrate beer as a gift from the gods, highlighting its cultural and religious significance. Brewing beer wasn't just a happy accident, it required ingenuity. Early brewers needed to figure out how to store grains, control fermentation, and create vessels for brewing and drinking. These innovations likely spurred technological advancements that paved the way for other aspects of civilization. The ultimate evidence for beer's role in shaping civilization comes from archaeology. In 2018, researchers discovered a 13,000-year-old site in Palestine containing remnants of a beer-like beverage made by the Natufians, a group of semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers. This predates the earliest evidence of bread by at least 3,000 years. If the Natufians were brewing beer before they were baking bread, it suggests that the desire for beer, not food security, may have driven the transition to agriculture. Think about that for a second. Our ancestors might have traded the freedom of a nomadic lifestyle for the stability needed to brew beer consistently. Beer's role in human history is far greater than most of us realize. It wasn't just a drink, it was a catalyst for innovation, a cornerstone of social life, and perhaps even the reason we became farmers. From the Natufians' primitive brews to the sophisticated brewing techniques of the Sumerians, beer has been a constant companion on humanity's journey toward civilization. The next time you sip a beer, remember, it's not just a drink. It's a window into our shared past, a story of innovation, and perhaps the most ancient reminder of what it means to be human.